Hi guys. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the grading emails that have been coming to me regarding CPCU and CI. I know there were a couple of clarifications that were made by the department chairs today. We did have a department chair meeting, and I did talk a little bit about what the district expectations were as far as us providing grades for the kids during distance learning. And so wanted to go over it just one more time, just in case you had any further questions. Now, guys, one of the things that we have to keep in mind is that this is not a normal grading practice because this is not a normal teaching situation. So I had talked to you a little bit about grace before grades, and we just don't know the situations that are going on in the homes that our kids are in. And so one of the things that I wanted to share with you that was shared with the principals during our principal meeting on Monday, and this kind of put things in perspective for me as a principal and educator, is that the number of CPS cases that are being reported in the El Paso area has decreased significantly. And so just hearing that, you might think, well, that's great. That's great news. Our kids, aren't being abused, aren't being sexually assaulted, aren't going through anything harmful at home because the reports have gone down. Well, to only find out that the number of hospital admits for children who have been abused in El Paso has increased. So keeping that in mind, normally we are the ones at the schools that are making these CPS reports and protecting our kids. Obviously, our kids are still going through really hard situations at home because while the CPS reports are down, the number of kids going into the hospital is increasing. So we just have to keep these kinds of things in mind. And again, not all of our kids are being abused or anything like this at home, but we just never know. We never know exactly what our kids are going through. So, when I first talked to you about grading, I did tell you, grace before grades. And so, just speaking from a perspective of a full-time working parent/mom, it's been very difficult for me, and I have a pre-K little boy. So I can just imagine many of you who have elementary, middle, and high school kids, and you're trying to get work done. So we just need to think about that. So I know a lot of you, the grading system, it's not sitting well with you, especially because you feel like it's unfair to give students who haven't really done much or any work a CI, and you would like to give them the CU, which is a 0. Now, the district expectation, and I did clarify this with Dr. Kennedy, is that the only students who will be giving a CU are those students who we have not been able to make contact with. And at this point, we have very little amount of students, like 4 students who would get a CU. All other students would get a CI. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you an updated list of the CU students tomorrow morning. And those are the only students who can be issued a CU. Remember, those are students who we have not been able to make any contact with at all since distance learning started up until now. Everyone else will either get a CI or a CP. Now remember, a CI has a grading range from a 1 to 60. A CU is a 0. A CI is a 1 through 60. A CP is a 60 through 100. And those averages are going to be converted through our grade book at the end of this distance learning, June 5th. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the students' grades from the third 9 weeks when they were still in your classrooms, and we're going to look at their fall semester grades, and we're going to average all of these together to come up with their final year average. And this is the average that we're going to look at to see which students failed 2 or more core subjects for summer school. So I hope that just clarifies for you a little bit about grading. So one more time, the only students who can receive a CU will be those students that I will email you tomorrow morning. And I believe it is only like 4 students. All other students are going to be receiving either a CP or a CI. And remember, students do have until June 5th to turn in any work. So please make sure, and I know you guys are already doing your very best to get this work turned in. You're on it every single day. I have complete confidence that, remember, you can control only what you can control, and you're doing a fantastic job. So I hope that clears up any misconceptions about the grading, but I did want to send something out to you, and I didn't want it to be a long email, so I decided to send you a little recording just with the clarification. If you personally have any questions or still want to talk to me about the grading, please send me an email and we can set up a time when we can do a virtual chat. But again, if you have students who have communicated with at least one teacher, and it doesn't have to be you, then they will receive a CI even if they have done no work. Again, the only people that will receive a CU will be those students that I will email you tomorrow morning. And again, it is a very small amount of students. All right, so let's do our very best to try to get these kids to get this work turned in. And so with that, we'll see you all on Friday. Super excited to see you and to celebrate you. And we hope you're having a really great week. And this is your week and you deserve nothing but the very best. So